it's exciting to see, but we got to move on. We're going to move into our next topic, and like, oh boy, we've been teasing this one for a bit.
Here we go.
It's been a lot to talk about, and it's Apex, just straightforward. There's two subsections we're going to go into, and we're going to break it down one at a time. Apex has had some problems recently. Players are not happy, and I'm going to start with basically saying this. Apex Legends has decided to up the prices for battle passes in a specific way. We'll have that breakdown in just a second, but players are now filing negative reviews on Steam, up to 10,000 so far as of 3 hours ago, where they're showing their dismay for these new changes. So we're talking about something that is pretty big deal. It has a big shifting thing with Apex. And like we said recently, we talked about how much Apex has made lifetime, $3 billion. So we're going to be looking at this battle pass change right now. But before I start into that, Nick, right off of this battle pass, what are your thoughts? I know you explained a little bit before that the battle pass, if you don't want it, don't buy it, right? Do you want to go into that further? Do you want it to come up naturally in the conversation come up here? Is there anything you want to lead off before we dive into breaking down what's going on with this battle pass and player sentiments and / action against that feeling that's they're feeling right now?
I don't understand players when they moan like this, like, to be honest, right? Like, I understand the battle pass. Like, I don't know. Did you want to spend money on the battle pass? Like, is that the argument that they're making? I want to buy the battle pass. How dare you separate it? And now I need to buy it twice. Like, aren't you doubly as happy then if you wanted to spend money on the battle pass? Like, what's your complaint? Well, like, seriously, like, what's the complaint? I get the same amount, but I got to pay double the amount now. But I shouldn't really have to spend money in the. I don't get it. Just don't buy it or don't play the game. Like, it's so easy.
I think I understand your point with it for sure, but I think that's a little reductive to this sort of situation. So let's break down here. I would say I disagree with you, and I'll bring up my points. So let's break down what actually happening with the battle pass, and we'll continue discussing that aspect. What your point? Why it's a good point? Why it's a bad point? And then I can throw in my 2 cents and my opinions on around it too. So here we go. Apex Legends website here. The battle pass updates. Everything you need to know about the upcoming battle pass. So the TLDR. As perfectly here, they're evolving the Apex Battle Pass to improve your experience and progression goals. So first and foremost, they're definitely soft languaging it. And like, this is probably where I always start chiming in. This is them just kind of like judo people into like, hey, this, the battle pass is now available per split. It used to be once per season. Now they're splitting it into, you can buy 2. Players can earn the first premium battle pass during the first 2 weeks, and then they earn the other one on the second 2 weeks. Levels to obtain the final cosmetic stuff have been reduced. It was 110, and now they're reducing it down to 60 per half. So not even like a true half, but something. And the rewards from the battle pass that frequently weren't being used have been removed. So in this, I can kind of understand where, like you're saying, is like, they're getting more goodies, but they're paying more money. So like that is a little bit of a bonus, but it's also kind of not like moving into the free track. So, you're not spending any money. They refreshed the what is it? Rewards have been refreshed with the following available across each of these split. So you're getting 200 coins, 7 packs, and 1 complete epic set from just playing for free, which, still pretty good. Premium track rewards refresh the following to be 2400 CM, 1300 AC. So the digital currencies, the different digital currencies, 10 exotic shards, various packs, 1 reactive legend. And like, I can go through a list of this, but the kind of thing that's crazy to me with this, it's all digital, right? Like, it's all just fake imaginary things. They do not exist, but like, this is what they're throwing in to justify that price point, and now that upped price point or that split price point. So Nick, chime in. What do you see? What are you laughing at?
Bro, because it sounds like nonsense. Like, not to be like the old dude in the room, right? But like, you get 200 at AC coins, you get 7 packs, you get 1 complete epic set. It sounds like horseshit, bro. Like, everybody knows that battle passes are horseshit, right? Like, so like, this is what I don't get. Like, any adult who's got bills, battle passes they know are horseshit. Like they shouldn't have to pay. Like they're probably not paying for it, right? And are these like just young kids with fear of missing out on like a colorful skin?
No way.
Like, what's the? All right, so normally it was how much money? $10 and $20.
So yeah,
and then it just got split again.
Real quick. The final TLDR at the bottom here. The cost, it's $9 or $10 for the premium, and then $20 for the premium plus each split. It used to be coins, the digital currency, but now they're changing it to direct money. So that's a thing. And like to talk to on that point real quick, you're right. It sounds like gibberish. It sounds like garbage. It sounds just like made up fluff that people take seriously because it's been emotionally invested into the seriousness of it. And that is a big strategy with freemium stuff or with casino sort of stuff. You disassociate the real value from the perceived value. So you don't spend real money. You spend Apex coins or like Predator credits, right? And that disassociates what that actually means in your head so that you don't realize, oh, I just spent $100. I spent 1,000 Predator coins. And that's where it's like a little mixed feeling here, because the psychology of the imaginary currencies definitely mess with your head. And we're seeing 2,800 previously or 950 previously. That was by design to do that, at least separation. So like in a positive note, they're making it more directly money, but then on a negative note, they're making it cost more money. And like they are still going to exploit that FOMO that you're talking about. And like a 15-year-old kid might not have that $20 every 2 weeks, 3 weeks to spend on this game. But that, 30, 40-year-old dude playing casually between dad duties might, and like enjoy it and like be able to justify it. So that point specifically, I find a little mixed, but otherwise I think I it's all gibberish and garbage, but it is, you're paying more for less almost in that gibberish and garbage now.
Like, are you? Right? Like counter argument would be like, now you're paying exactly what the digital crap is worth. But you didn't know that before. Sorry. Like I don't get it, bro. Well, how about like you're playing a free game, mm-hmm. right? It doesn't have a subscription, right? So you can play World of Warcraft for $15 a month, and they'll still do shit like this to you.
Yeah.
Okay. But you get a free game, you can play it. There's no buy to win, like pay to win aspect of this game, right? And like, what are the complaints? I like, this is what I'm saying. I don't get it. Being like, do you want to spend money? Are you pissed off that you're? Make a good point. Make a good point besides like saying I don't want to pay an extra amount of money.
The goodest point is that my $10 doesn't go as far as it used to. That's really
Brass inflation. Get fucked. Everybody else already had that happen to them. Like I don't get it. Don't buy it, dude. Like I got battle passes in League of Legends. I got battle passes in every game I play. Okay. Every game I play has a battle pass. Am I buying all of them? Am I moaning about it? No. How many games do these players play that have battle passes? Are they buying all of them? Are they only buying ones that they think are worth it? And give me a valid argument besides it costs too much money for me.
I have, because at the same time, my $10 doesn't go as far as I don't get as much as the $10. Of course, I'm going to be mad about that. But the other part of it is you're right. If you don't like it, don't spend the money. That's the better action to take than complaining about it on Steam. I guess complaining about it on Steam does hurt and impact the developers, because we've seen that happen recently with Helldivers. Like they have not been able to bounce back from that massive campaign that was organized and pushed through for it. But that could be also a few other points. So you're hurting them with the dollars, but that's exactly it. If you don't like it, move on, kind of thing. But the only bigger asterisk I would say with the point of it is my $10 doesn't go as far as I would. But the other thing is that I'm sure the marketing team from Apex is going to be trying to sell me even harder. We're seeing how the wording on this one is trying to judo a little bit. We're evolving your experience. It's yeah, technically, but you're also making me spend more And you're right. Nobody's making anybody do anything, but I'm sure there's going to be that FOMO, that marketing thing. And of course, it's almost like cable. We're old enough to know like how much money it costs for to watch cable TV. If you want to watch one channel, you got to buy 200 channels. You got to spend $300 just to watch that one thing you want to. Like, this kind of feels like it might be going that way. It's not super hard evidence. It is broken down into 2 half packs, so you have a little bit, but in that way, I don't know, man. You're getting less for paying more.
You want every skin that comes out in the battle pass. Like this is the confusion that I have, man. Is that like, are they literally saying I want every fucking thing that this company tries to jam down my throat? Like I don't understand. Man.
And we've talked off camera. We've talked off camera about WoW. What kind of game is it? It's become more games than just a singular one, or what it used to be. And like, what a lot of the developers are acknowledging now is that collecting is one of the biggest ways people play that game. And of course, WoW is different than Apex, but of course you're going to have those same kind of people in an Apex game wanting to get everything, of course. That's where it's like a little bit deceptive. And I agree with you. If you don't like the price point, don't buy it. Move on. But yeah, there is incentivization to collect stuff. No one's saying it outright, but there is definitely psychology in this to push it.
Just like counterpoints, did you think Apex was going to last forever? Right? Did you think that the terrible business practices that you, being a person who pays for a battle pass, has cultivated, right, along with all of your buddies who pay for battle passes, did you think the price wasn't going to go up? Did you think it was going to stay the same, that your value was going to be there the whole time? I don't like the company for doing it, right?
Yeah.
But you have to use your brain when saying the counter argument be what do you get out of Apex for free?
So Nick,
right?
Nick,
and are you cool with it?
Right. Yeah. You get stuff for free and the go back to not paying, but to ask or expect that they're going to charge more for the same thing or less, that's, I don't know. I don't think that's really fair, because generally speaking, of course you're not. Of course, we've shown how it is a positive game as far as the experience. Generally, it is a sustainable game. They've made $3 billion on this game. There's no signs of it slowing down. There's no real signs of it losing money and maintaining. And for them to then hard pivot this, it feels like a Bobby Kotick sort of decision from Activision Blizzard kind of moment, and that they're trying to mask that. And that's, I'm sure, where people are upset. But at the end of the day, you're right. If you don't like it, stop paying for it. Stop playing the game. Give them the bad review on Steam and move on. That's kind of it. Just hit them where it hurts in their wallet and then move on.
I mean, they're not going to stop playing.
You're right.
I said this off stream, right? None of these players are not they're all engaging with the game still. The game has 18 million active players per month, right? Steam was negatively impacted by nothing for the most part. At most, it has little over 500,000 players playing on it. You need to not play the game that you get for free, that you're still going to play the game anyway, because your gameplay experience has not been negatively impacted by this nonsense. And it's been the same price for the battle pass for how many years? How many years has Apex been out, right? Yeah. And I'm not making the argument, they should raise the price. I'm making the argument, if you don't like these business practices, you should never buy a battle pass. That's it. Buy the coins, pay for the skin, and never buy the battle pass, because you're the reason why they think they can double the battle pass money.
And get away with it, yeah.
And get away with it. It's not me doing it. I'm not the reason why this shit happened. Which is why I'm a firm stance of, I'm not paying for the battle pass regardless of what game it is. It doesn't add anything to my gameplay experience. And matter of fact, it probably has a negative impact on my gaming experience, because if I buy it and I don't get every single thing out of it, I will actually be more upset than if I didn't buy it at all.
Much more reasonable sort of nuance that you're explaining there. I agree with that. And there is the sketchy part where you're going to be pushed or incentivized or just FOMO'd into wanting to. etc. And that's what the company is going to company and do. Capitalism's going to capitalism. I have a quick question though, and I think it's true. The new champions are basically not hidden, but they're in the battle passes, aren't they?
That could be a valid complaint. Not the complaint of where like the money, like where your character that has power creep in it that might actually severely impact your gameplay because you can't play the new character, but everybody else can. And if he's super powerful, that would be a very good argument against the battle pass.
Yeah.
But there's no argument against the battle pass existing. The argument is how much the battle pass cost. That is a stupid argument. There's never that's never a good argument.
That's too
it costs too much money.
It's too hard.
No, it's really not. It's really not. It's not good enough.
We both worked at a certain restaurant, and we both knew one of the strategies to appease people was to give them a free piece of cake, right? Do you remember how much we sold that piece of cake for and how much it actually was on the back end?
It was like $10. $10 and it costs like 48 cents.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
we're not even.
I hear you.
We're not even talking about a physical product with the Apex stuff. We're talking about digital products. We're talking about ones and zeros. So first and foremost, do you ever even own these things? That becomes a big valid conversation. More reason to not buy the battle pass, etc. But the way then them selling it like that's. I don't want to say it's unethical. It's capitalism, and that capitalism could be unethical. And like that leads into your point. You should not expect it. But at the same time, it feels bad, man. I like this thing. I want to play this thing. I do want to spend money on this thing, but now you're doing a thing where I can't do what I want. You can still do it. It's just going to cost you more. You're right. It still feels bad. You know, and it still feels bad when you think about it. It's like, yeah, that piece of cake that sold for $10-12, we only paid 48 cents for, you know, so we made people happy. What do you think it costs per dollar per employee for this digital stuff? It makes it crazier. But, you know, that's where the heated conversation is. I think it's much more nuanced. And I think we do have to give some grace to these players because they're just caught up on it, right? Maybe they don't see it. Maybe they do have valid points with the battle pass, having power creep characters hidden behind it. The currencies also, if you get more currency from the battle pass, allows you to buy more characters quickly, which allows you to play the game differently or better or higher. You know, that becomes a balance issue. That becomes a power creep issue. But you know, that's definitely more of the valid, nuanced points of this. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it feels bad, man. And that's still valid. Stop buying the battle pass.
Sure.
But it still feels valid.
It can feel valid. It's a valid thing to say, you know, I don't like it. It's totally acceptable, right? I could be right there with you complaining about a battle pass if the game was trash. Like, it's what I say about WoW. Like, WoW's a good game regardless of how much people want to complain about it. Apex is a good game. If your complaints are the battle pass.
Cough, cough, Star Wars bounty hunters. Cough, cough, cough.
That's not a good game, though. It doesn't even play
good.
It's a bad game. It's a bad game,
and it's a money grab. It feels like you're hitting IP. Yeah. It's meme and monies, like we've been saying, man. One could argue this is leaning into that money thing in a system that was already profitable, basically.
All these companies have investors or companies that bought into them. Like, let's just say it again. Overlord Tencent, right? Like, in every single one of the, like, who do you think's doing? Like, what do you mean? Like, who do you think's doing this? Like, all your favorite games and all your favorite games that people are playing right now, Tencent has their hand in it. Like, I'm just letting, like,
yep.
We can go through the games, but every game that you play that you consider good, Tencent's, like, not behind it, but they're in it. And so that includes like Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Riot, like League of Legends. Like, it doesn't matter what game you're playing. They're there in their pockets and in their ear, man. So, like, I don't know.
Even if you're competing with like a Tencent in that way, even if you're not competing with them, they're like everywhere, you're still competing with the shareholders. And that's regardless if it's Microsoft, if it's Blizzard, Activision, King, Sony, like, we saw what happened with Sony and the Helldiver situation and distribution issue on like 3-4 months into the game. It comes down to the shareholders and stock prices. So everyone needs to pray to the stockholder gods, the shareholders, to get this battle pass reduced, because you're right. You know, I don't think it validates it as like a reason to why you do it and like, oh yeah, duh, it's a no brainer, it's gonna happen. I think it just kind of like proves more into your point. Don't buy the battle pass if you're not happy with it. You don't think it's valued. You think it's too much. Don't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it still doesn't feel good. It still doesn't feel good. But you're right.
Sure, man. But like, you know, anytime that like these are all multiplayer games, right? And people are, I don't want to say like people are addicted to playing like multiplayer games, but usually multiplayer games survive longer in the trends than, you know, games like Helldivers. That's like a co-op game for the most part, right? Like people go back to just playing competitive games.
But that was also the spark, because it had lasted that long so naturally, organically, that it was still picking up steam until all the Steam negative review bombs, basically, and like really tracking that from the CEO of the developer and Sony, basically. So like, you're right, but that's what made Helldivers even more special.
Yeah, it's like, again, it's a solid game, but like, I don't know. I think people probably need to just like take a breath off the game that they're playing. Like whenever you get mad about whatever game if you're getting mad about the company itself and not the game, maybe just take a step back and play something else.
Yeah. And I think
like just in general,
that's the thing that people have a hard time with, because you get into a habit of playing this game that you like and you don't really want to try to play something else. So I understand that. I agree with that. It's so hard to find games you like, games you can play for years on end. Those people who play WoW every day still, they've been doing it for like 20 years. That's insane to me. Like, but I'm not going to yuck their yum, and they're going to still do it. And of course, I'd understand.
I would.
To a degree, if they don't like the thing, they're going to complain about it. But if you actually don't like the thing, then like you said, move on, try something else, open your horizons. I think we saw that a lot, in fairness, with WoW players over the last year and a half, where it's like, we're done taking this bullshit. We're going to move on to other pastures.
They go to Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they come back to WoW. Congratulations. Like,
hey man, anyway, in that fairness too, there has been a lot of they did enough of a dent where the developers were listening to them directly, and they made some pretty player favorable changes. Different conversation, but here
I mean, it's the same conversation. They went to play another game.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. You being logged on to whatever service that you're complaining about is the reason why they don't care what you're saying.
Yeah.
Complete honesty. Like, the fact that you're still interacting with them is the reason why they do not care. Like, at all. Like, you're still playing.
Yeah. Even if it's negative playing, it's still playing. And I agree with that.
YouTube.
Like, it is. But, you know, different strokes, because it's a lot of little bullet points that have happened. And, like, that's kind of where we're at here, looking at the actual battle pass, how it's changing. Like, it's pretty straightforward. Here's a visual representation. It's 60 levels, 200 coins, and 7 packs versus the same. But that was for free the entire season. So you're probably even getting a better situation if you're just playing free the 2 half. But from what it looks like is that the free is not being split into 2. Am I reading this correct, Nick? Do you see the same thing that I'm seeing, that the free path is for the entire duration of the both half seasons?
I didn't notice that before. No, it says 60 levels. Every half system is 60.
It says so every half. Okay. I just didn't see it like duplicated like the other ones are with, but okay, it makes sense. Yeah. So in that way,
probably just giving you the same ones.
They are incentivizing you a little bit more for free and giving free players a bit better. So that's a definite thing to take note here. You're getting more for being a free player because you're getting this twice. You get 60 levels versus the 110s. You get 200 coins per half season. So that's 400 for what it would be now. 7 packs, and then the skin stuff. And then the premium versus premium plus stuff, you know, that's where the biggest changes are likely going to be at, and seeing the difference. So, because you're paying for it twice a season, basically every half season. But
yeah, I mean, maybe make the argument that your rewards aren't good enough for the price now.
Yeah, the value's not there.
Instead of saying like the value's not there or something like that, because like telling me that I'm going to get ooh, look, we get more Apex packs. Nice. That's sick. I was really looking forward to those.
You remember,
maybe the
Nick, you remember a couple weeks ago the hacker who was just giving away like 500 Apex packs to random people?
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Yeah, and then people.
Happen.
Yeah, you could open them all. Like, I love that. Like, all the people were worried, like, oh my God, am I going to get reported? Like, no, he gave you the packs. He's the hacker. You could open all those bad boys.
100%. 100%, man.
But yeah, the value just doesn't look like it's there, honestly. And I don't really know what a reactive weapon is. Yeah, but, it doesn't. You still get the legendary weapon skins and stuff like that. I know that they're cool and stuff like that, but like, I'm sure a lot of the best players like choose like some of the most basic stuff.
Yeah,
like,
default.
you know what I mean? Like
low settings, default, everything.
Like, speaking the fake, like, because these are all bad skins, right? And we had the debacle with the whole Faker skin that people complained about. Like, Faker doesn't use a skin. Just so we're clear.
Well,
like when he plays, no, he has all of them unlocked for free. Every skin. He plays with no skins. Like, the best player in the world in League of Legends doesn't play with a skin. So like, if you want one, go ahead. But like, dude, I don't know, man. I'm like, again, I'd be so much more negative on this if the game sucked. If the game sucked, I'd be like, yo, you're not getting anything without spending money. So like, yeah, this is a good complaint. But like, I think Apex is one of the best like games out there as far as shooters. Like the way like the game has upgraded itself, it's done things for quality of life for over the course of its lifetime. Like, it's done a lot for the player base just in general to make the game better and good, and it's a solid game.
Yeah,
that you don't pay for.
And I think that's also why this one hits and hurts a little bit much, because you'll have other games and stuff complaining about their battle passes and monetization paths, and then you have like an Apex or an EA doing this to them like that. So like, in retrospect, the other ones don't look as bad, but it's the same idea. But speaking about that quality of life that you're talking about, that is a great sort of way to pivot us into our last topic, and might arguably be the biggest one here.